You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it. How do we get folks to think big, to see that there's huge world out here of possibilities, unlimited possibilities, to actually dream in black? Well, that's what the folks at AT&T are doing with their hashtag HBCU Unlimited initiative, which focuses on black culture and pride. And when it comes to HBCUs, oftentimes we'll hear about the bands of fraternities and sororities and other aspects of black HBCU life. But we chose to go a different route. We wanted to focus on HBCU professors who are doing innovative work and expanding the horizons of their students.
I teach at Bowie State University Intro to Biology for majors and non-majors, General Genetics for majors, Heredity for majors and non-majors, and freshman and senior seminars. My research is around aging skeletal muscle. I'm by trade a human geneticist, but my research is aging skeletal muscle, and then I mentor students because I want them to be better than I was and to have a role plan and not have to make the same mistakes.
All right, so when you say aging, so what is your focus? What are you trying to do with your research?
So as you get older, you lose muscle mass and strength. So I want them to live longer, healthier lives. So I want to increase health span, not just lifespan. So that means, well, actually around the age of 30, aging of your skeletal muscle takes place. But it's not until 50 to 70 that you actually see the results of it. So I want to extend that period so that people aren't actually experiencing sarcopenia, which is the aging of skeletal muscle, till their 70s or 80s, so that they'll have healthier years and not just longer unhealthy years.
So when you say you begin to see it at 50, okay, so I turned 50 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So what are you looking for? What are you looking?
Your muscle mass is going to be smaller. So if I looked at your muscles under a microscope, your cells start to shrink.
Okay.
And then they start to get weaker. And that's what you would.
Some folks, they jump on the treadmill, jump on the elliptical, or is it a matter of, no, you should be lifting weights?
So the jury is out on that one, but just keep moving. All of the above, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're willing to do as you get older, I would say do it. You're going to lose the muscle mass. It's a matter of slowing down how much you're going to lose as you get older. So even elite athletes and people who've trained for years still experience sarcopenia, but it's going to be at a lower rate than someone who doesn't do that, who's not an elite athlete.
Okay, where did you decide to say this is what I want to do? Like what? I mean, so like you were sitting around as a child going, you know what? That's an old person, and look how you know, they can barely lift things up. You know what? I'm gonna try to figure out how to ensure they have more muscle at 68.
It just happened. So as a child, I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Okay.
But once I got into school and I realized medicine or science, I went the science route. I loved research. And I was applying to grad school because I wanted to grow organs to be able to transplant them into people who needed them. But once I got to Johns Hopkins and I rotated in labs, so I've seen some of the stem cell labs and I wasn't so fond of them. And then I met a skeletal muscle biologist and I liked him as a person, and then I liked the research. So at the time we started with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. And it was cool, and then he got offered some money to look at skeletal muscle aging. So I looked at skeletal muscle aging because my project wasn't working. And that's when I fell in love with aging.
And so when you so for you, I mean, being a black woman, I mean, you're looking at the possibilities. You're dreaming about those possibilities, and so that has to be exciting to sit there and go, ooh, that worked. Okay, now we got to figure out, can that work somewhere else, and then break this whole thing apart. So this is sort of like a constant puzzle.
It is. It is. But that's the joy of science. Like, we don't even know everything that we don't know. So there's always going to be something new to discover, something new to investigate. And I think that's why it helps that I came back to HBCU to hopefully train other young black scientists to go out into the field and study new things. And it also because there's not a lot of scientists who study diseases that affect African Americans or even have African Americans as subjects to see things that ails us. So if we can motivate the younger generation, maybe we'll see changes in that.
Is it important for you to get your students to, again, to think beyond even what they know and to understand, is to dream bigger and say, look, this is possible for you to do this, for you to be a scientist, for you to discover new things, for you to discover new treatments, and not just somehow think that it's reserved for somebody who doesn't look like you?
That's exactly why I'm here. So I came back to HBCU so I would be an example for them. I was a first generation college student. I didn't know how to navigate. I didn't know what I didn't know. And in fact, I almost didn't go to school because I couldn't find a cosigner. So it's like to be here and have my story as an example for them, something tangible that they can obtain to be, does drive me. Today's generation aren't necessarily as inquisitive as we were. So they have to even know where to look for it or know that it exists. And I think it starts by professionals and other people going back into those communities, showing that people that there are more than you can do than sports and medicine. So I think it starts with us.
For more information, go to www.att.com/dream-in-black. How do we get folks to think big, to see that there's huge world out here of possibilities, unlimited possibilities, to actually dream in black? Well, that's what the folks at AT&T are doing with their hashtag HBCU Unlimited initiative, which focuses on black culture and pride. And when it comes to HBCUs, oftentimes we'll hear about the bands of fraternities and sororities and other aspects of black HBCU life. But we chose to go a different route. We wanted to focus on HBCU professors who are doing innovative work and expanding the horizons of their students. How are you preparing students for a different world we're living in? This is not, I mean, we're seeing church membership on the decline, people actually watching online. And so how are you getting students today to understand that it's a whole different world than probably the world they grew up in going to church?
What we're doing is we're really training the next generation of religious and faith leaders, not only for congregations but also for communities. We recognize that not everyone coming to seminary may find themselves within a congregation, but there are individuals who come to seminary who want to go out in different walks and different paths in their ministry. We provide that type of education that translates not only across churches but across broader swaths of society. And that is deep built into what this institution is.
How are you making sure these students are thinking as broad as possible so they can understand all the possibilities, as opposed to, oh, church,
this is the only one
pulpit,
model.
this is the only way you do it?
So what we do at the Proctor School is make sure that we pair up our students with dynamic and diverse ministry partners that are not only in churches but also throughout all sectors of society. You can find our seminarians at Richmond Hill right here in Richmond, Virginia, a center that's dedicated to bringing peace to the city. You can find our seminarians in schools, in public schools. You can find our seminarians here on campus integrating their knowledge with undergraduate students here in various venues. So we understand that ministry is dynamic, it is diverse in the 21st century. We're preparing those students to continue to go out in a diverse environment because we know that church just doesn't occur at 11 o'clock on Sunday mornings.
How would you think black, dream black, and preach black?
We are a seminary that understands that the worth, value, and dignity of our humanity is deeply imbricated with how we are as a people, as a black people. That blackness imbues itself not just in the color of our skin, but in the ways in which we understand and cognate God in the world, the same God that has continued God's journey with us across these centuries to ensure that we are still fighting for freedom and justice in the world, and the same God who affirms our dignity and the variety and depth and diversity of our black culture and our black humanity. That's the beautiful thing about the Proctor School. It doesn't see anything, it doesn't see blackness as pathological. It doesn't see blackness as something that's antithetical. It doesn't see blackness as something that is just marginal. It is who we are. When we look at the image of God, when we talk about the Imago Dei, when we are made in the image of God, God made us in God's image, and our blackness, our culture, our heritage, and our history is part and parcel of that divine gift of who we are as a people.
So your district name is one of the seminaries changing the world. What does that mean, and how does it feel being recognized as one of those critically important seminaries?
I think it affirms what we're doing as our mission. It affirms what we've done since the founding of this institution in 1865 and the founding of the seminary, formerly as the Graduate School of Religion in 1941. It affirms the vision that we have of providing a prophetic message and prophetic leaders dedicated to going out into the world to transforming the world. It also affirms that we've built an infrastructure, that our curriculum, the ways in which we offer scholarships to our students, the ways in which we offer co-curricular activities. We take students to Africa each and every year to ensure they're connecting with the continent and also connecting with our diasporic brothers and sisters in the Americas. It also means that we are designed and engineered for innovation to continue to deliver a transformative message grounded in the liberating gospel that is the gospel of Jesus. So what it does do is it affirms us institutionally, it affirms us holistically, and it affirms a vision of a seminary dedicated to going out and living out the message of the gospel in the world in a way that is unapologetic, in a way that is contemporary, a way that is affirmative of black people, black history, and black culture, and in a way that welcomes everyone to not only this seminary, but everyone to a transformed world where we're all valued for who we are, not in spite of our differences, but because of our differences, because God creates creation in all of its diversity and all of its humanity.
For more information on the AT&T HBCU Unlimited initiative, please go to att.com/dream-in-black. How do we get folks to think big in this world? How do we get them to see the unlimited possibilities, to dream in black? Well, that's what AT&T is doing with HBCU Unlimited, this initiative which focuses on black culture and pride. Now look, when it comes to HBCUs, we often hear about bands and frats and sororities and other aspects of HBCU life. But we chose to be different this time. We wanted to focus on HBCU professors and the innovative work they're doing to expand the horizons of their students. Dr. Cornegay.
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
Great.
What do you do?
I'm a hardware hacker, so we really a tinkerer. I tinker with things, most likely, more often electronic devices, and to figure out how they work and what their weaknesses are.
How did you dream big? How did you think about the possibilities of what you can do with that and turn into a career? What were you thinking about that at an early age?
I used to have crazy dreams back then, and I never understood what they were until much later, until I got to college maybe. But I always would dream about numbers and binary numbers, number sequences. So I would always dream. So and that's probably what prompted me to start out as a math major. So I started out as a math major in college. And then my sophomore year, my math professor pulled me aside and said, well, what are you going to do for the summer? And I said, well, I don't know. So she said, well, here's two opportunities. And so she said, oh, you can go to Prudential. The other option was to go to Bell Laboratories and to do some engineering stuff. I said, cool, I've never done that. What is engineering?
So it was officially called engineering, but for you growing up, it was called tinkering.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so you go to Bell Laboratory?
Yes, I did. I went to AT&T Bell Laboratories.
What was it about it that sort of just blew you away? That caused you to say, oh man, there are no limits here. That I could this thing could go anywhere.
It was a number of things. It was the place, the energy of the place, the innovation. This is a place where creativity, your ideas come to life. And they created this environment, and they had tremendous resources, and you had all these brilliant people, especially people that looked like me, who were engineers. Upon graduation, I moved back east, went to work for IBM, T.J. Watson Research Center. I was one of the 3,000. I was only 4 African-American research staff members.
Talk about why it's important for us to encourage, not just young folks, but just encourage people to dream big.
If you don't dream, you will never fulfill your destiny. But you have to see yourself, and you have to project it, and you have to speak it into existence. But first, it starts with the visualization.
Mm-hmm. Is it important for you and what you're doing to get students to understand that they have to think bigger, broader, not in once exposed that they may have thought their future as an HBCU student was this, and really what you're seeing is no, it's
oh yes, well
it's you can actually box it.
The next Mark Zuckerberg is going to come from Morgan State University from this lab. This is someone who's going to think big and have some sort of lead, come up with this innovation that will lead to the next social media craze. So I think I'm always encouraging them to think big and to go beyond. And I give them a lot of latitude, but I expose them to the different aspects of our business, the academic. They do internships so that they, they're pulling their own red wagon, but ultimately I do have some that have that entrepreneurial spirit. So I encourage them, I put them in opportunities where they can flourish and grow, and then introduce them to the right kind of people, because we need that.
For more information, go to www.att.com/Dream in Black. So how do we get folks to think big in this world? How do we get them to see the unlimited possibilities, to dream in black? Well, that's what AT&T is doing with HBCU Unlimited, this initiative which focuses on black culture and pride. Now look, when it comes to HBCUs, we often hear about bands and frats and sororities and other aspects of HBCU life. But we chose to be different this time. We wanted to focus on HBCU professors and the innovative work they're doing to expand the horizons of their students. All right, Dr. Gathinji, so this is your third HBCU, and there are a lot of people who, if you say farming, oh my goodness, they thinking you gotta have tons of acres, but it's an increasing number of people who are focused on urban agriculture. So explain what urban agriculture means.
Urban agriculture is any kind of agriculture growing of fruits, vegetables that happens within the city environment.
Okay.
There's nothing different other than the locality. So that's what we call urban agriculture.
And so what we're seeing is obviously with food deserts, but also people who want to grow their own stuff, we're seeing an increase of folks who are doing this, who are focused on urban agriculture.
Yes, with the population increasing in the city metropolitan, there's a need to feed those people to address the challenges of food desert. Here we show a demonstration of what you can do with more acreages. What you see on my left side here are called the raised bed gardens. We use intensive way of gardening, put some good soil with rich compost, and it can produce tons and tons of vegetables.
What kind of stuff could somebody grow if you're living in an inner city and you want to create your own urban garden, your own urban farm?
You can grow all kinds of vegetables. As you can see with this demonstration, you can grow kale, collard, mustard green, carrots, onions. It's pretty much anything that you can grow. And as you can see here, this fall crop, winter garden. You can actually come back and grow the summer vegetables. You can grow tomatoes, lettuce, zucchini, and name it. And
so again, when we think about really what you're talking about, really you have unlimited possibilities in terms of what you want to be able to do.
Yes, sir.
Because in the thought process before was, oh my goodness, I'm living in the city, I'm living in the inner city, I got concrete all around me, there's no way I can do this. But we're now seeing a growing number of people who are focused on this, and a growing number of African Americans who are doing it.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, and again, we mentioned about the food desert. Those are places that people don't have good access to fresh vegetables. So you can actually solve the problem by having backyard gardens, front yard gardens, patio gardens over there.
I'm sure you've had students at some of these HBCUs, and when you said, hey, let's talk about urban agriculture, they said, man, I am not trying to be out there in the fields farming.
Yes.
And so how have you gotten them to dream bigger, to think bigger, and to not have a limited view of agriculture as somehow it's just being on some big wide open farm somewhere on a tractor?
Okay, we want those students to come over here. First of all, learning how to do it is the first step. If you come here and you see actually the possibility that we have here, we are telling them you don't have to have tons of acreage or farm to do gardening, to do farming. You can actually do it in a small acreage situation.
So you fully expect us over the next 5 to 10 years to see a boom of urban agriculture?
Yeah, it's growing. And we also teach a class for students and other people from the community, Sustainable Urban Ag Certificate Program, and the numbers have been growing over years. So they come over here, they do the hands-on, they do some intensive classes, they participate over here. We send them to go work with other gardeners and farmers out there, and the numbers are still growing.
Okay. For more information, go to www.att.com/dream-in-black. Hey fam, want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered, the blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. Check out our audio podcast. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Press play. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Because guess what? We come back live January 3rd. The blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Hello. Y'all want some of this? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. There's only one show out here, folks, in the digital world that's focused on you. Because here's the piece. I ain't afraid of Fox News. We come back live January 3rd. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.